Did you know that someone making 50 or 60,000 a year could actually have a higher net worth than someone earning 170,000 or more? Just because someone earns six figures doesn't mean they have a high net worth. That's because net worth isn't just about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep, how much you grow it, and how you manage it. Most people think net worth is only for rich people, but here's the truth. Understanding your personal net worth is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward building wealth. And here's the reality. If you're not building your net worth, if you're not stacking assets, you might be working a lot longer than you planned. So what does your net worth say about you financially? So let's start with the basics. Net worth, according to Investopedia, is the value of the assets a person or a corporation owns minus their liabilities. So net worth is just a simple equation. Net worth equals assets minus liabilities. Assets are the things you own that have value: your cash, your savings, your retirement accounts, your investments, the equity in your home, and maybe even a paid off car. And liabilities are what you own: credit card balances, student loans, car loans, your mortgage, or any other debts. So when you subtract your liabilities from your assets, what's left over? Well, that's your net worth. Let's take a look at how this works out. For the first example, let's say that you have $5,000 in savings, $40,000 in a 401k or another retirement account, and your house is worth, say, $250,000, but you still owe $200,000 on it, which means you have about $50,000 in home equity. So your total assets are $95,000. Now let's take a look at your liabilities or your debts. So first of all, you have $200,000 that you owe on your mortgage. Say you have $17,000 car loan, $7,500 in credit cards. So your total liabilities are $224,500. So based on this, what is your net worth? Well, we'll take the $95,000 and we subtract the $224,000, and that gives you a net worth of a negative $129,500. So even though you own a home and you have a retirement savings, your overall net worth would be in the negative because more is owed than what's owned. So let's take a look at one more example. This time, let's say that you have $10,000 in savings, you have $50,000 in a 401k or another retirement account. Your house is worth $250,000, but this time you only owe $145,000 on the mortgage. So you have $105,000 in home equity, and now your assets are $165,000. Let's take a look at your liabilities, your debts. So $145,000 is what your mortgage is, $11,000 for a car loan this time, and say $5,500 in credit cards. So your total liabilities is $161,500. Now your net worth would be $3,500. And these are just a couple of simple examples. Your situation might look a little or maybe even a lot different. Maybe you're dealing with student loans. You might owe more or less on your home or car. Maybe you don't even have any home equity yet. The point is, this just gives you a sense of how net worth works. And here's something really important to notice. None of these examples factor in how much money you're earning. That's because your income doesn't count toward your net worth. It's all about what you own versus what you own. So here's the key. Your net worth is not about judgment, shame, self-worth. It's a simple snapshot, a financial picture of where you stand right now. And here's the good news. No matter what your number is today, it's not permanent. It's a number, and you can improve, grow, and transform over time with it. So let me ask you a question. Does it even matter what your net worth is? Or is this just a vanity metric that really means nothing, especially if you're struggling financially or you have a negative net worth? Well, when I owed over $70,000 in student loans and I had $15,000 in other debt, I didn't own a vehicle, I didn't own a home, and I made very little income, I didn't think my net worth mattered either. I mean, pretty obvious that my net worth was probably somewhere around negative 100,000 plus. But here's what I learned. Ignoring your net worth, even when it's negative, is a lot like ignoring your weight or your health stats when you're trying to lose weight or get in shape. If you don't know your numbers or how they're changing based on your actions, you have no idea whether you're improving things or if you're making them worse. So here's the truth that surprises a lot of people. Net worth is not a reflection of how much money you're making. It's how you keep that money, how much of that money you keep, and what you do with it. You could be making $50,000 a year and steadily growing your net worth, or you could be making $170,000 a year and still have a negative net worth because of overspending, debt, lifestyle inflation. And yeah, some people will point out that income matters, and they're right. Earning more income can help you move forward faster, especially if you're stuck in survival mode. But here's the catch. Income only matters if you manage it well. If you're not managing your money, even a higher income just slip right through your fingers. And that's why net worth is such a powerful number. It gives you a real snapshot of your financial health, no matter where your income is at. It shows whether you're building wealth or just moving money in and out of your bank accounts, whether your habits like spending, saving, investing, or even borrowing are helping or if they're hurting you. And most importantly, your financial trajectory. Are you moving forward? Are you stuck in place, or are you sliding backwards? And here's the really good news. You don't have to guess where you stand because you can track it. There are some great free tools and apps that calculate and monitor your net worth. Apps like Empower or Credit Karma can track your accounts and show you a running total. Even some banks offer built-in net worth trackers. Or if you prefer to keep it simple, a basic spreadsheet works just fine. Honestly, that's all that most people really need to start. The goal isn't perfection, it's just progress. And once you start paying attention to your net worth, you can make smarter decisions like paying off the right debts or boosting your savings, start building assets that grow over time. And sometimes, yeah, it's necessary to increase your income, whether that's in the short term or the long term, especially if you're stuck and you can't change your situation without more cash flow. But here's the thing to remember. Net worth, it's not a scorecard, it's a snapshot of your financial reality right now. It's a tool that helps you navigate the life that you want. So let's take this one step further and talk about how your net worth reveals a lot about your financial patterns. And this is where it gets really interesting. Think of it like this. Net worth is more than just a number. It's a mirror. It reflects your money habits, your progress, and it reflects even some of your mindset issues around money. So let's break this down into 3 categories. First is a negative or near zero net worth. And this usually means things like you're just starting out, you've taken on a lot of debt, like student loans or credit cards, or you've hit some kind of a financial setback. It can feel discouraging, but it's actually very common no matter what your age. People in their 20s, 30s, they experience this because they're just starting out. But this is also a very harsh reality for people in their 40s and 50s and beyond due to things like major life changes, divorce, career reset, or even just financial mismanagement. For example, when my net worth was around a negative 100,000, here's what it revealed about my financial habits and patterns at the time. I was borrowing more than I was saving. Basically, I was living off my credit cards. I definitely wasn't building assets at the time. I was just trying to stay afloat, and to be honest, I really wasn't paying attention to the big picture. I was mostly just trying to get by month to month. But that's the key. The number isn't a label. It was just a reflection of my patterns. And once I started seeing those patterns, I could start changing them. For me, that looked like focusing on paying down my debt, building a small freedom fund, and finally just starting to invest a little bit at a time, which eventually led me to a point where I was able to start building up my assets because of all those changes. So if you're looking at your own net worth and it's negative or it's just lower than you'd like, don't panic. Just use it as feedback. It's showing you exactly where your energy and focus can go next. What matters here is the direction you're heading, not just where you're at right now, today. So the second category of net worth is a small positive net worth. And this typically means you're paying down debt, you're saving or investing regularly. You might have some home equity, or you're growing a retirement account or some other assets that hold value. And this stage shows that your money habits are starting to work in your favor. Even if the number isn't massive, it's proof that you're building a foundation, and that's worth celebrating. And the third is a strong, positive net worth. And here's what we're talking about: substantial savings, significant home equity or other assets, low or well-managed debt, and regular investing. And this stage usually means that you've moved beyond just covering expenses and you're actively building wealth. It's not about being rich. It's about having financial stability, resilience, and options. So no matter what stage you're in with your net worth, it's not about shame or comparison. It's just about information. It's there to help you see your patterns, not to beat yourself up with. It's feedback that you can use to adjust your habits, set new goals, keep moving forward. When you start treating your net worth like a growth tool instead of something for judgment, you finally have control over the direction of your finances. So let's talk about the most important part, the whole point of tracking your net worth, which is to show how you actually can use your net worth as a tool to improve your finances without using it to tear yourself down. Because here's the truth. For a lot of people, the moment they calculate their net worth, they instantly go into self-judgment. They think, I am so behind, or I'll never catch up. So first of all, you need to separate your net worth from your personal identity. The numbers on the spreadsheet do not define who you are. It's just a number. And like any number, it can change over time. So let's talk about how to use your net worth as a growth tool. There's 4 things that can help you move forward. First of all, take time to track it regularly. Check in on your net worth every few months, maybe once a quarter, or even just once a year. You don't need to obsess about it, but you just need to stop and take a moment to get a clear picture of your progress to see if you're moving in the right direction. Next is to focus on what you can do to improve the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. You do this by increasing your assets, saving, investing, increasing your equity and the things that you own, and also by reducing your liabilities, which simply means paying off your debt. Even small, consistent moves make a difference over time. And third, take action based on what the numbers tell you. For example, if you notice most of your liabilities are high interest credit cards, focus on paying those down. If you realize that you're a little light on assets, maybe it's time to increase your savings rate or start investing, even if it's just small amounts. And lastly, remember, income matters. Sometimes improving net worth also means increasing your income, especially if you're stuck just covering the basics. There's so many ways to increase your income, so just look for the options that work best for you and your life circumstances. And most importantly, just stop using your net worth as a stick to beat yourself with and start using it like a map. It's not telling you who you are, it's showing you where you are. Instead of thinking, oh, my net worth is so low, or I should be doing better, just toss those negative thoughts out the window and approach it like Spock would. Here's where things are right now, and here's what I can do to change that. There's no need to get hung up on all this emotional woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. Just use clear, logical thinking and ask yourself what's going to create the change that you want to see. When you approach it this way, your net worth becomes one of the most powerful tools that you have to build life that you really want, the financial freedom that you've been looking for. Your net worth isn't a reflection of you as a person, but it is one of the most powerful tools you can use to understand where you are and where you're headed financially. And if you're ready for the next step, which is to figure out how to put your money to work for you, watch this video next.